That is the dream. Welcome, everybody. Get our screen shared here. All right. Welcome to the Dose of Togetherness. My name is Brad, and I will be your guide today. I'm the founder of Reimagine. As you know, Reimagine is a nonprofit organization focused on facing the hardest things in life, death, dying, grief, illness, all these things swirling around right now, race-based violence, and but doing so in a way where we can create space to be together, to reflect on what matters most, to celebrate the people who matter most, and to take the actions in life that make this life meaningful. And so that's what we're doing here together with the Dose of Togetherness. You've made this format and this show what it is by attending. If you have a second and you're just hopping in, I'd love to say hi in the chat to everybody, get used to the chat function, and maybe share where you're calling in from. This is a very special Dose of Togetherness, and we're going to explain why in a second here. Before we go much further, though, I want to talk for a second about some upcoming Reimagine experiences. All right, there we go. Ciao from Novato, says Sheila Merle. Hello from Texas, says Martha. Great to have you with us. And if you want to keep sharing on the chat where you're calling in from and why you're excited to be here today, that would be great. So wanted to let you know about the Art Responder series that's coming up this Wednesday. Please join us at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for literally who I believe to be the funniest living comic, Chris Garcia, who has shared the stage with us at Reimagine before, and he is such an incredible comedian. Plus, he speaks about themes that are very relevant to all of us. So join us Wednesday, please. If you haven't signed up yet, please do that. And then we'll be back again, I think, next Monday, right, Dara, for another Dose of Togetherness?
Yes, and it is with two good friends of Reimagine and friends of mine, two women who have a podcast called Bitch Talk, and they interview all different types of creative people all around the world, film directors, artists, comedians, and they're going to be sharing some interesting things on the next dose. And that'll be posted by the end of today.
All right, fabulous. All right, we have some SMJ fans out there. I didn't know that she went by SMJ, but now I do understand that would be the best. You know, it's like it's Sheila Merle's. Just what do you call that? It's your moniker, SMJ, in the house. But we'll get there. So first of all, a big thank you to our festival sponsors. As you know, Reimagine is a nonprofit organization, and we rely on your donations. Thank you so much for your contributions to date for being able to create these free and accessible sessions, and to all of these wonderful sponsors of ours that have really helped pave the way for these experiences to take place. We usually show a photo of Dara here, but today I've seen it's Dara's prized possessions that have taken the slot of Dara's face. Dara, who do we have here?
It's Sammy and Biscuit. Sammy is the big guy on the left.
All right, so Sammy and Biscuit are sharing some important tips, some cat tips here for Zoom. Please, you'll keep your microphones off until we get to the breakout sessions, in which point we're going to turn them back on to converse with one another. Please keep your cameras on, says Sammy. And if you want to ask questions or share comments in the chat, Biscuit has some words of wisdom for us there. So that's pretty much it. You're all familiar with Zoom at this point, and I'm really appreciative that we've all adjusted to this strange world. If you have any questions, you can always reach out at hello@letsreimagine.org, and we can answer any and help you get set up here. Now, I want to introduce the special guest for today. Her name is Sheila Merle Johnson. Sheila Merle Johnson graduated from UC Berkeley in '66 in French and psychology. She became interested in spiritual and personal growth from her early 20s when she discovered yoga and the psychic world. During this period, she started a commune in Sonoma County and sold Renaissance clothes through the Second Renaissance Fair. She traveled around the world on the hippie trail at 25 and returned to follow a career teaching and practicing integrative massage. She even did channeled readings for a while before committing to her true calling as a body worker. She discovered what's known as the Traeger approach in 1976 and was an instructor and practitioner of it for 25 years in North America and Europe. That combines meditation, touch, movement in a playful way to promote sensory awareness, ease of movement, and a lightness and freedom of body, mind, and spirit. After a mild stroke at the age of 53, she turned to more stay near home careers of consulting and bringing back her love of aesthetics into imaging consulting also as a home stager. Sheila Merle is now retired and lives in Novato, California. She takes great delight in spiritual and personal growth activities such as meditation, improv theater, mentoring women with addiction, and various physical development practices. And so, also why I'm so grateful to have Sheila Merle Johnson here with us today is she has registered now for over 50 Reimagine events and has really been one of the leaders in this community. I've met her in breakout sessions and had the wonderful opportunity to be with her myself. I know many of you have to just be in the presence of her wisdom and love and positivity and just good-natured humanness that has made Reimagine what it is. And it's so great to elevate somebody in our community up to be the featured guest. So with that said, Sheila Merle, welcome to the Dose of Togetherness.
Thank
You're
you,
home away
Brad.
from home.
Brad and Dara and Zubin, new friends. It's wonderful.
So one sec, let me make sure that I have this. I'm hearing a beeping. I'm going to turn this off so we can turn off my Slack, which is, I think, making a little annoying beep for everyone. Okay. So Sheila Merle, we're going to start with a meditation. Is that correct?
Yes, a sort of meditation, a meditation through movement. Since my Traeger world involved lots of movement given to the practitioner, the client on the table, as well as self-movement. And Reimagine has, through the wonderful songs at the end of Doses of Togetherness, has got me dancing again. Some of it in the chair because I have a neurological disability called orthostatic tremor, where my legs start to tremble if I stand up for long. But I can move while standing. So Reimagine has gotten me back into feeling my body through music. Now today is special. I don't know what they're going to play. The music Dara put together and Brad just learned how to stream it. So I'm going to just guide you through my experience listening to the music. What I invite you to do is to feel the music in your body and let it guide how your body wants to move. This can be sitting or standing, moving your whole body. It doesn't matter. The point is just to feel the music moving you in some way that takes you deeper into yourself, into myself, and hopefully into yourself.
All right. Are we ready to try this?
We're ready to try this. I'm going to
Okay.
get my glasses.
Now, do we like this background that you have up there? Is that how we're doing it?
I like it, but
All
I'm going
right.
to turn my computer if I stand up.
All right. Here we go.
I just take a few deep breaths and let my consciousness drop from my thinking brain into my feeling body. Breath is a wonderful way for me transition from thinking into feeling. Perhaps closing eyes can help that drop, if you're comfortable with that. Already feeling this music, soft as it is, slow as it is. It's inviting my chest to move. Where in your body do you feel? Think of it as an invitation to discover. Could be your spine. Mine feels like a big slow snake right now. Could be shoulders. Could be feeling your pelvis on your chair or on top of your legs. All our eyes are closed. No one's watching. Be your neck, your head. Your arms wanting to move. Oh, however this calls you, it could be as tiny as one vertebrae. Oh, or as large as your arms moving out in your chest and lighting a bigger breath. Snaky or rhythmic. Maybe it's moving to a part of your body that feels tense. Long. Come back to life. Maybe if you're sitting, following your breath. Me, I feel like kicking off my shoes. Feeling my feet on the ground. You're doing what feels good to you, standing or sitting. Ooh, a whole different rhythm. Ah, I feel my feet stomping on the earth, owning my place in this world. I am here. I am human. My arms reaching out to fill the space, taking up my space. Hips moving to assert my place Fine. Move. Glide. What words come to you? Describe your feeling. Enjoying the air around me. Oh my. All different way of living in the body. Ooh. Thank you. Feel like touching earth. Wake them up. Bring them into the dance of life. My heart, my belly. Yes. Sitting, standing. Melting, stomping, slithering, expanding, contracting, anything. Owning the space, owning my space. Yeah. Oh. Does my chest need more space? I can use my arm to open my chest or to open my back, my whole body, a part of the dance of life. Where am I not moving that I could move? What's my body not doing? Can I invite them into the dance? There's movement I haven't tried that I could explore. Ooh. And maybe eyes still closed, feeling now, feeling the sensations in my body. The aliveness. What are the sensations? Can I let words flow into my mind to describe what I'm feeling? And perhaps you could unmute people to say just a word or a phrase. Anyone? Or type it in the chat. What's a word describing or a phrase?
Wellness and wholeness.
Mm. Thank you, Wyvonia. Oh, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm feeling tingling, aliveness, breath. And that's what Dose of Togetherness has introduced me to with the wonderful music they have played, reintroduced me into the joy of moving to music and letting the music move my body. Thank you all. Okay.
Oh, Sheila Merle, that was so beautiful. I'm feeling energy. I'm feeling all these words: vibrant, gratitude, perky, connection, aliveness, settling, floaty, joy. Wow. Thank you for making this day uh, so alive with your energy and your great. If we call this a meditation, I want to do a lot more meditation.
Well, for me, it's become a wonderful way of meditating.
So,
And
wow.
that was a total surprise. I had no idea what music was coming. So I'm glad you all explored it with me.
Well, you wrote it. You wrote it. You wrote us to just a great place right there. So, Sheila Merle, we have some questions for you today.
Okay.
Who is Sheila Merle?
Oh, God. I don't know whether to do it in the third person or the first person. I'm going to start with Reimagine. I came to Reimagine 3 years ago. I don't know how I heard about it, but I went to the first two festivals here in San Francisco, not many events, but I was drawn to it because at 75, I've really started thinking about end of life issues. And I came to it wanting to get practical information about the Advanced Healthcare Directive. And I found so much practical information, especially in this festival, that helped me move through some of the blocks to getting all of the trust, the Advanced Healthcare Directive, the dementia. I didn't even know about the dementia addendum and the COVID addendum. All of that has helped me so much, and I found people who can help me. I also wanted to explore my relationship to death, and that has been a true and deep exploration. And I found that I'm quite comfortable with the idea of it. As I thought more about it, as I was guided through feeling into it and thinking about it in Reimagine, I feel an acceptance of it, and it just feels like another adventure into the unknown, in a way like what happened just now with the music being the unknown. It's just another unknown. And I deal with those in my living life, and I have no idea what it will be after. But the passage doesn't seem frightening. And that's been a great gift. And that has fed into some of the journeys of my whole life. As Brad said in my bio, I was drawn to both spiritual and physical things in my early 20s. And that thread has continued throughout my life. Through both the discovery of meditation, Vipassana style. I took one of Jack Kornfield and Joseph Goldstein's first workshops when they came back from their explorations in Asia. And off and on throughout my life, Vipassana, which is now mindfulness is in the general public, has been something weaving, a thread weaving through my life that I think has brought me to the great gift of being able to witness my thoughts and my emotions and the experiences of life and not be so identified with them, not be caught on the journey of emotional response to life, and not be so caught in my own reactions and my own ego, which is constantly wanting to encase me in my personality. Now, I actually enjoy my personality, but I'm so glad to know there's something beyond it for me. I'm not sure how to describe that. And that's also been reinforced through AA. I'm an alcoholic, sober 12 and a half years. And AA has brought me into contact with what I call my higher power, or the universal energy, and the body work I discovered at first through massage, integrative massage from Esalen, and then finding Dr. Traeger's work of Traeger, what he called psychophysical integration, and is now the Traeger approach. And it's an approach to the body, to learning about my body, but also Dr. Traeger was a devotee of the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He met him when he first came over from India. And he never talked about that practice, but he talked about connecting with the universal energy before we reached out and touched someone. And continuing that exploration of spirit, meditation, witnessing through Reimagine, through wonderful Chodo Campbell, my new crush, who's a Zen priest in New York, who's married, and anyway, he's just a wonderful person. But at my age, I get to have crushes on younger men, and that's part of my aliveness. And then through the body, I explored doing psychic readings for a while in my 30s, but I'm a touch person. And being able to teach people Traeger work, the connection of the body, and then play. So I was traveling in France. I speak French fluently, and part of my volunteer work is translating for asylum seekers here in America from French-speaking, mainly French-speaking African countries. And oh boy, I just lost how I got onto this thread.
It's a journey. Just keep going. I love the
Okay.
thread.
Okay. So something about French. Oh, traveling in France. I had been to a French immersion school, and something came into my mind at age 72, I think, about doing my values, my intuition. That's been another exploration, how to connect better to my intuition. And what came to me is doing my values. So a writing teacher I had studied with had mentioned writing about values. So when I got back, I looked up a values list, and they're going to put my email in at the end, along with, I hope, my Instagram account for those of you who love fashion. I explored, I did a written list of values and then prioritized them. And the top 10 then came down to about the top 6. And I looked at my life. I was retired from bodywork and image consulting, working with fashion. I had been a dress designer in my 20s, brief period, and getting back into image consulting and home staging, working with how a person feels now, how they would like to feel, their description of their own adjectives, and then looking at wardrobe and home as an expression of those inner qualities, both now and how they would like to feel. So I just read something in the chat. Hippie Trail travels.
Yeah, it kind of goes with what you're talking about right now about French, and people are wondering, um, what you know about finding living communities, diverse and
Oh,
multi-generational, and your own experience in that part of your life. Maybe you could give
I,
us one quick anecdote about something that sticks
I
out to
have
you.
to say that I don't know about diverse living communities yet, but in one of my files on my computer is co-housing. And the thought of, I mean, I love living in my home. I live in this beautiful home with a view of a lagoon of water and houses and hills and mountains. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm very blessed in my life. Um, and energized, I see that word. A couple of years, so I don't know about those, but I expect to be researching them. The hippie trail, it was just a year and a half of my life. I left with a French woman at age 25, and we picked up a friend of mine from Big Sur in Hawaii, whom she fell in love with. So we spent all our money bringing him along to Japan. And so in Japan, we both worked for a year teaching, her French and me English, and to make money to continue. And I continued with her to Bali, where she met the love of her life. They're still married 50 years later. Anyway, and he took nude photographs of us on the beach, and the police found the negatives and came to arrest us. And they were arrested, and I got the message through our community, and I left in the middle of the night on a boxcar to Jakarta, where my papers and wallet were stolen. Anyway, I've got lots of stories about that, but I want to get back to now, to the values. So I was doing a Reimagine event recently, and what came up from my intuition about my values is they're sort of down to two: cultivating presence and having fun. And that's my life now. Cultivating presence through meditation, through dance, through movement, through body work. When we're not in this phase, I go to the gym, I do Pilates, I receive deep tissue work to keep my body open and strong, to live as long as I live in the strongest and most fluid body I can have. And meditation to uplift my spirit, and connection with people. Zoom has brought incredible connection. I know people who don't feel connected through Zoom, but for me, to see these faces that I've learned to cherish and love, and to see people from my book groups that I've connected more deeply than I ever did in person, because I still have social anxiety about personal encounters. So living out fun through improv, where improv has opened me to not caring so much about what people think. I highly recommend it as a way of exploring who we are, of letting intuition fuel my words and actions, of playing and laughing and some pain. I mean, I did a lousy improv show last Thursday, and I recognized it. And I contracted for a while, and then coming into acceptance. It's all growing. I can be bad at something and can learn from it, and then come back and explore more fun. And so I have a group I always feel fun with, and so I go back to that group. Ah, yes.
So Sheila,
Life is good.
life is good when you're here with us. And one thing I did not realize until this call, that background, you know how Zoom has these Zoom backgrounds?
Yeah,
That's not a Zoom background, is it?
it is.
It is?
It's a Zoom background with my lamp in front of the green screen
Oh, it's
to light
amazing.
up. It's a Magritte painting, only the lamp replaces the apple.
Genius.
Dara encouraged me to use this one. I've used it before, but she said she likes this one. No, my real background I can't show you because the green screen's there. But I have backgrounds of my house now that I put up from time to time. So I'm in front of my house, although I can't get there.
So we were gonna go to breakout rooms, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be separated from your SMJ presence. So was wondering if rather than going to breakout rooms today, we might ask the questions that we've prompted to this group that's here,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
maybe folks could just chime in and we could have a dialogue with the audience about the questions that you've created for us that we were going to do in breakout rooms, but let's just break out right now with ourselves. So the question that came up for you and that you were just speaking toward is around what are the values in people's lives that they could honor, that maybe they haven't been honoring or that we might honor more, and what conscious choices can we make to live those values out? Is that right, Sheila Merle?
Yes.
So I'm wondering,
Or anything else.
say more.
Well, in AA, we don't limit to the topic because people may have other inspirations bubbling up. That's all. And so
Perfect.
that was or anything else that's popped up.
So yeah, so that's what's going on right here. What are the values you want to honor in your life, and what are conscious choices you are making, or could you take to honor those values and to live a better life? One that Sheila Merle modeled for us some incredible values of, say them again, Sheila Merle, fun, and
Cultivating presence, which I do through my body, through meditation, through being with you all, and having fun.
so those are wonderful values, and I see the way that you're living them. Does anyone else want to respond? I wonder if anyone want to either raise your hand, or you could. I think that's the best way to do it, or in the chat.
Be brave. Express yourself. There's a song.
Yeah, someone chime in right here.
This is Martha. I think self-discovery is what came to mind for me. I've just decided to do lots of things that challenge me to really pay attention to where I came from and what I've lived through, and tried not to pay attention to as I weeded myself through it, and just really honor that it all got me here. And sometimes it doesn't feel very good, but I think in looking at it, I understand myself better, and I like this platform Reimagine. I was planning a trip to San Francisco, and this has made it so much easier. But yeah, just continually doing things that teach me.
Thank you. Zubin. Oh, was that clap?
I was just giving some spirit fingers.
Okay.
I can quickly go, I guess. I am all about authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing what you're doing. I do something called ecstatic dance. I would dance for 4 hours on Sunday in Golden Gate Park. It is totally socially distant. So people are local and want to dance with some people and look like a bunch of weirdos in the park. It's really, really amazing. And it's just, I have enough like points of data in my life where when I'm being free flowing and authentic, like I am the happiest and the most centered in my brain. I even get like visuals in my brain that can, in some ways, like psychedelic experience without needing any substances. It's really, really, my body and mind is rewarding me for that authenticity.
Thank you.
Anyone else out there? If not, I can just keep asking Sheila Merle questions. You can also ask Sheila Merle a question.
I think Mary wants to talk.
Oh, great.
Okay, I'm going to unmute her. Mary,
Yeah.
can you talk? Okay, great.
Yeah, hi. I'm Mary. I'm in Wisconsin. I feel like Sheila's my sister of the future, sort of. I'm 63. I'm a massage therapist. I'm not working since COVID. And I never thought I would retire, and I don't think I am retired. But I'm finding all these wonderful things to do, and I love Zoom. I've got Zoom meditation and Zoom book club and Zoom cooking club and Zoom dancing, and you just took so many of the words right out of my mouth, Sheila. This is just so much fun. And I was a young person in my family, and I just always knew that I wanted to get older and that it was just going to get more and more fun. And so to see you say those kinds of things just makes me so happy and smiling. And I also close my eyes and see these visions, and I'm trying to figure out how to basically be brave enough, I think, to bring them to people. A friend and I are working on maybe some Zoom kind of workshops with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Somebody said to me, we can pick and choose like little magpies, and that's my plan. So thank you.
That sounds like one. It's funny. I didn't insist at the beginning. I didn't emphasize that my first name is Sheila Merle. It's both words.
Oh, Sheila Merle. Okay,
Yeah.
there's the hyphen.
Usually I do.
Okay. Okay.
So Sheila Merle, why don't you tell us about your name?
I was named Sheila Merle Johnson. Sheila is apparently jewel in Celtic, and Merle was after Merle Oberon, a famous actress of the 40s. And maybe there's a nod out there among the gray-haired ones of us. And I was doing a massage workshop in my early 30s, and I did an exercise with the group where they said their names to the group and felt the vibration or how it felt in their bodies. And then the group said it back, and they really felt the echo. And then they could try anything they wanted. And so when it came to me, I said Sheila, and it just vibrated when they came back in my head. So my intuition said Merle, and Merle vibrated in my belly. And I said Sheila Merle, and there I was, a whole person. So that was it.
That is it. Now, I see that we have my dad in the audience today. Jim.
We do. Are you going to call on him?
Yeah, I am. I always want to call on my dad. Otherwise, I don't get to talk to him. Dad, what do you have you want to unmute yourself for 1 sec?
Okay.
All right. So what do you want to say to Sheila Merle?
Well, Sheila Merle has been a figure that I've seen on Reimagine over and over again. She's become, in my mind, kind of like myself, a Reimagine groupie. And what I love about her is that she, even without saying anything and just looking at her, she has such style and presence. And such, she just loves life. It's obvious to me. And just looks like she's on a journey to explore life on a regular basis. And it kind of reminds me of some actresses that I saw in my lifetime. You know, her patient was Katharine Hepburn. And she just, the way she lived her life, and even in some ways, Zsa Zsa Gabor. I mean, this life and excitement and the attention to little things like the way you look and your dress and how you interact with people. It's just written all over you. And I think how you live your life is what generates your happiness, and the happiness generates how you live your life. They go back and forth. And so I really admire you, and I admire your freedom of expression. And you said that you have social anxiety. You are the last person in the world I would ever think has social anxiety. So that's kind of my reaction to you. And I really feel just great that I get to see you having your own show. This could be the first of.
All right, SMJ is taking it over. Dad, that's a really great kind of question you brought up that I'm really interested to learning more about, Sheila Merle. So this question about your social anxiety, and here you are on screen dancing around and leading us in meditation. How do we square those two things up?
Well, I feel so free on screen. Still in improv, before I start a scene or I'm given something to do in person, I freeze up a bit. And in person, in groups, I mean, that's one reason I drank, I think, in those past years was social anxiety. So I drink before going to an event and I drink at the event. But I had an image once that people were like an army or an enemy to me. And at one point I saw them as paper tigers, not real tigers. And that was a moment of breaking through, but then it would come back. I mean, rejection, fear of rejection has been a major force in my life. It's just with, I think, lots of therapy and all the body work and the spiritual work, they've all diminished, but they're still there. The fear of people, the fear of rejection, the not thinking I'm good enough. And that, for me, those don't go away. They were instilled in childhood. It's just that they're less and less. But when I'm around people, they're more present than screen. That's all I can say.
And maybe it's that I'm just reflecting on my own life, but sometimes the things that are the hardest for us are the things that then we work so hard to kind of combat those things. So the way that you do the improv, the way that you're, dancing on screen, you're in essence grappling with those issues that you've identified. And I mean, in my own life, when I think about Reimagine, where I see that, I think the world is in some ways a very sad place and can be very sad. And so Reimagine is partially here to be an antidote to try to, because it's otherwise it's like, what do you do? It's like, it's just trying to grapple with that and those feelings. And so sometimes you go further toward the direction of that challenge or that pain. And so whereas we see you as, or people maybe you see me as happy, it's like you're working hard to do it, right? And just in the way that you're dancing on screen, you're showing us, it's you're working through things, but in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, I don't want to present that I don't feel sadness, and that this whole the terrible happenings around illness and around racial issues, they touch me and very deeply. And I'm so thrilled that you've had events both to deal with grief and, approaching grief, how to approach grief, as well as racial events about exploring my implicit bias. And I've been searching for those. But that's all part of what Martha said. Self-exploration. How can I grow? How can I be better in these issues? And maybe that will help others. So I thank you for all of your presentations that let us explore the grief and the joy, or as it was said in the vigil last night, the grief and the praise. I think those go together. And I'm looking to just what Mary shared about putting together some kind of group or teaching. That's what's on my plate in my legacy realm right now. Is I'd like to create some groups to explore all of it and to share what I've shared today, but through experiential exercises. And so when my email is put up, am I going to do it, or are you? I'll put it up.
Dara will do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send out. If you want to put your email right now in the chat, you can.
I do,
We
because
can also include it in the follow-up email.
But let's help Sheila Merle Johnson create this series of experiential classes.
yes. So
our goal is to make dreams come true, and the first dream we have is turn Sheila Merle into a rising star, like Nora Taylor is suggesting, and we're going to take, we're going to ride your coattails all the way to the moon.
So there's, so I would be looking to people who would like to take a group with me in beta form at first, just experimenting with what works, because it'll be on Zoom. So please email me. And I've loved fashion. So I got into creating an Instagram account, which hasn't been very lively lately, but you will see my past. And I've put in my email and my @SheilaMerle1 Instagram address. So please connect with me. I'd really like that.
Yeah, let's get these workshops going. I'm in. So email, see here, Sheila Merle at Comcast.net for those of you who don't have the chat open. Yeah, or
And
at Sheila.
it'll be in the follow-up
Yep.
email as well.
And maybe we can end the session with this question, Sheila Merle. Maybe you could share one thing that you've taken in from your experience at Reimagine, and then one piece of advice you would give to all of us from your own life. If you could leave us with one thing, what would that be? So that what's coming into you, and then what you can give to us. No pressure, not a small question.
Death is there. Accept it. Life is to be lived now. And what was the other?
I don't know. It sounds like it was like you did both in one fell swoop. It was what have you taken in, and then what advice do you have for us? I don't know which one was which. That was just double punch.
Life is there includes, I believe we're here for our, put on earth for our personal and spiritual growth. Do it. Revel in it. Express it.
That's beautiful, Sheila Merle Johnson. So everybody, if you want to just share in the chat.
That's why wait.
All right.
There's Brad.
Any gratitude you have for Sheila Merle today? I'm gonna find one more song that we can play to round out this beautiful session. It was such a delight, Sheila Merle, to have you, and this is not going to be the last time. And also those of you out here, we want to find ways to, I think this is just a great model. It's like everyone here, and this is a thing, everyone has such great messages to share. Sheila Merle obviously has some particularly wonderful messages to share, but I think everyone does. And if there's ways that we can help elevate everyone, to have your own session like this, it's like I want to learn. There's so much to learn from everyone, right? And so let's keep working together to find ways where we can be together and take the time out of our days to listen to somebody that we haven't heard before. There's all these TED Talks, right, that go around, and the speakers there are usually 30-year-old tech executives or I mean, there's some great people. I don't want to poo-poo the TED Talks. But I think the fact is there's some people that have lived a little bit, that have some experience on this earth, that have some things to share with us. And Sheila Merle, you're certainly one of them, and we want to do this more often. So thank you. And if you look at the chat, Sheila Merle, I think you'll see just the gratitude that people are feeling for you and the SMJ movement that we're going to start together. So let's see if I can find the song real quick. We're going to end with "Girl from Ipanema,"
which is one of my favorite slow-moving heart songs.
Now, did you have a particular artist? There's very many renditions of the song.
Yeah, the original with Astrid Gilberto.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to play this little piece of audio now. Just make sure my sharing is right. Okay, here we go.
Just to remind you, email me if you want to be part of the Beta Babies, or Beta Babes, as one of my friends said.
Or love it. Yeah, and then just final message again. Please join us on Wednesday. Sign up for Wednesday with Chris Garcia at 5 p.m. You will not want to miss this session, I promise you. He's like Sheila Merle's son. I don't know. He's just...
I'd love a son. I've adopted Dara. Maybe I'll adopt him too.
Oh, man, I want to come over for dinner sometime.
Oh, yes. When this is over.
All righty. Yes, exactly. So join us for that. And thank you again, everyone who's been contributing through your donations and your support and hosting events. I mean, those are the things that as an organization we really need help with, is your donations, and then hosting more events where we can just spread this message, the message that we can connect and be together and share the inspiration that comes from each of us. So Girl from Ipanema, let's check it out.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça. Ela, menina que vem e que passa, num doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado do sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que um poema. É a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar.
Here she goes.
Porque estou tão sozinho. Porque tudo é tão triste. Beleza que existe. A beleza que não é só minha, que também passa sozinha. Se ela soubesse que quando ela passa, o mundo sorrindo se enche de graça e fica mais lindo por causa do amor.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes When she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently, that when she passes, each one she passes goes Oh, but he watched her so sadly. How can he tell her he loves her? Yes, he would give his heart gladly. But each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at him.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. It's been great to be with you all. Feel free to unmute and say goodbye. Sheila, Merle, thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye, Sheila, Merle.
Bye.
Bye, Sheila. You're lovely. Bye.
Love you.
Bye. She walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema She smiles, but she doesn't see. She just doesn't see. No, she doesn't see. But she doesn't see. She doesn't see. No,
Thanks,
she
everyone.
doesn't see.
Bye.
Everyone.
Yeah, that worked well given our last minute prep.
Yeah. It's great, Sheila, Merle. All of it. I loved it all.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for the dancing too, Mary. I appreciated that.
Yes, that was great. I took the heart inspiration from you, but my hands don't do it very well. I can't, this one.
Oh,
I could,
you can do it a little more.
Yeah, I got to practice that one. I've got to look it up, but I know the girl from Ipanema has a number of really interesting stories about it too. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it was a famous court case. My brother-in-law is an attorney because, like, she was a young girl. She was going to the store to buy her mother's cigarettes, and so it was sort of a true story. And then I think somebody wanted to open a clothing shop by that name, and there's all kinds of things. And then what's her name? Astrid Gilberto just kind of happened to be hanging around when they needed somebody to sing. It was supposed to be somebody else. I wish I could remember the details, but anyway, look it up. It's fun.
Zubin and I actually have to run to another meeting with Brad is on right now. So
I
I
understand.
sadly
We'll
have
go.
to end this, but it was so lovely to see all of you. Hi, Karen. And
Yeah.
Karen is Brad's mom. So that's
Oh, okay.
Karen, that's lovely. I can't see you. You're in the dark. Okay.
okay, but I have to end the meeting. So I'm
Okay.
sorry. I feel really bad, but I'll see you guys next week. Okay.
We'll be in touch.
you,
I
Sheila
want to be a
Merle.
groupie too.
Save the chat. Yes?
Oh yeah, we'll have the chat. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'll be able to send you a download of it. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Mary.
Thank you. Bye, Zubin.
Bye. Bye.